Coming up on Mountain News at 6, community leaders come together as they announce big plans for housing after the flood.
And a Central Kentucky school crossing guard is taken to the hospital after being hit by a car.
And the beautiful weather we had to start this week continues for much of the rest of it. Details on the way as Mountain News at 6 starts right now.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
Earlier today, community leaders gathered at the Knott County Sportsplex, making a big announcement for flood survivors in Eastern Kentucky.
Through a partnership with Western Pocahontas Properties and Joe and Kelly Craft, the Foundation for Appalachian Kentucky was deeded a parcel of land in the Chestnut Mountain subdivision in Knott County.
I was there this morning as it was all announced. This is what I learned. On Tuesday, the Foundation for Appalachian Kentucky CEO Jerry Roll announced that they have been deeded a parcel of land near the Knott County Sportsplex, saying the organization has big plans for the land in the next 12 months.
A subdivision for flood survivors right here in Knott County, 57 homes, new homes for families who lost their homes in the flood.
Roll says it was all made possible through a partnership with Western Pocahontas Properties and Joe and Kelly Craft. Joe Craft says this is another huge step forward.
This is just a second step. We had the first step for 16 homes. Now we have the second step for 57. We need to prove that we can do this. And with our housing partners, I believe we can get it done.
The Housing Development Alliance, along with other housing groups, are taking part in the build. HDA Executive Director Scott McReynolds says housing can't wait.
As one of the recovery experts told me early on, nothing good happens while people are waiting to get back in a house, right? Every day somebody waits, that's a little more suffering, a little more trauma. That's a chance somebody could leave.
Luther Harrison with Samaritan's Purse also took part in the announcement, saying their organization is dedicated to helping get these 57 homes built and ready for Eastern Kentuckians.
And as we all come to the table, we want to work together. We're all going to be one part of the body working together to make this thing come up out of the ground. And that one-year timeline, our boss has given us those timelines as well. So let's just, we've got to get busy, start breaking ground, and get the families that need the help get in these homes and get them back into a nice, safe place to live.
Jerry Roll says the legislature came forward with an extra $10 million in the Rural Housing Trust Fund, and the Crafts have added an additional $4 million to the Housing Can't Wait Fund to help fill the gaps, saying that boots are already on the ground for this project and engineers have been plotting out the road and lots. Construction is expected to begin very soon.
And more big housing news today. The final home in a new subdivision in Hazard is going to a flood survivor. 15 families now call the new Gurney's Bend subdivision home. Governor Andy Beshear was among the dignitaries at that celebration today. WYMT's RJ Johnson was also there.
Today, dozens of community members gathered to celebrate the start of a new subdivision in Hazard. Assistant Director for the Housing Development Alliance, Chris Dahl, says today's celebration was a long time coming.
It's great. It is wonderful to have these 15 houses built and finally occupied. To sell the last one is a great thing. And it's heartwarming to know that each of these 15 families has a safe, affordable, energy-efficient place to live.
That's why Chris Dahl says it's important to keep homes like these affordable in the community.
And so in order to keep these affordable, we work with a number of partners, and making affordable homeownership available to working class folks is incredibly important.
Dahl says the price of new homes has greatly increased during the past few years, but he says thanks to grants, partners, donations, and most importantly, the community, new homes are being built and new memories are being made. In Hazard, RJ Johnson, WYMT Mountain News.
Dahl says they are continuing to build new homes for flood survivors, and coming up at 11, we'll hear from community leaders about why events like these are so important.
And a beautiful day for it this afternoon. We've seen nothing but glorious sunshine all throughout the region today. Here's our view from Buffalo Mountain in Perry County. Not a cloud in sight with temperatures still in the low to mid 70s at this hour. There's the view from Pikeville. Not a cloud in sight there either. Gorgeous conditions continue. Temperatures in the low to mid 70s still. How about Harlan at 75? Middlesboro still at 74. Up in Wayne, they're at 75 right now as well. We'll continue to see those temperatures slowly fall into tonight, but with clear skies, those temperatures will keep falling. Forecast first out there through the next 12 hours. You see those temperatures falling quite a bit between 9 and 12. 65, we'll flip it. 56, we wake up in the 40s tomorrow morning, but an even nicer day on the way for Wednesday. Details in that and when we're going to start to track a few showers back into the region. That's coming up in a few minutes. Steve?
Evan, thank you. Earlier this afternoon, I had the chance to sit down with Republican gubernatorial candidate Kelly Craft for a taping of Issues and Answers. We discussed a number of topics, including Monday's mass shooting in Louisville. She says she would not support any stricter gun control measures, but says we need to focus more on mental health.
You know, we have to look at the mental health crisis in this state. We have to look at, we've had shutdowns from COVID. We shut this state down. It has caused a huge mental health crisis going on right here in the state of Kentucky. We have got to look at ways to be able to provide resources to individuals that are feeling the stress, that are feeling as if they're having a mental health issue. We need to take away that stigma.
Kraft praised the quick law enforcement and medical response in the minutes after that mass shooting in Louisville. You can catch the full interview on Issues and Answers Monday at 7 o'clock right here on WYMT.
UK police are expecting more participants at an already scheduled active aggressive training. The training is on Thursday.
Samantha Valentino talked with UK's police chief about the importance of the training.
Well, the number one thing that we want people to understand is if something doesn't sound right or seem right, it probably is not right. So we want you to take action.
UK Police Chief Joe Monroe says during an active aggressor situation, you should take action to keep yourself safe, then call police.
At first 2 or 3 minutes before police get there, you're responsible for your safety, and you've got to be the one that is taking some type of maneuver or action to protect yourself.
And UK police are working to educate the campus community on those actions through their active aggressor training.
Where it's evacuating and getting out of the area, which is what we call the run piece, or hiding, securing yourself and locking yourself in your office, or getting away from windows and doors, those type of things. Or do you fight back? Do you have an opportunity to fight back?
In addition to this active aggressor training, Chief Monroe says UKPD can also provide more specific training for different workplaces.
When we go to your workplace and walk through it to see what your environment is like, then we can kind of modify that training to your workplace and kind of point out different things and places that you could go to secure yourself.
Chief Monroe says they've received several requests for this workplace training following the mass shooting in Louisville.
The thing is, most people don't think about it until after something happens that hits home. And in the Louisville shooting, that really, I think, brought it back to the forefront with everybody making sure they need to be prepared.
In Lexington, Samantha Valentino, WKYT.
Police are asking anyone planning to attend this training to RSVP in advance.
One person is dead after a house caught on fire. The fire happened on 3D Road in Lawrence County near the Fallsburg area. The woman was pronounced dead at around 1:30 a.m. this morning. 2 people did survive. The names of those involved in the fire have not been released at this time.
An Eastern Kentucky woman has been indicted for exploitation of an adult. Attorney General Daniel Cameron's office says 31-year-old Courtney Arnett is accused of exploiting the finances of a vulnerable adult. Arnett has been charged with 1 felony count of knowingly exploiting an adult and 1 count of theft by failure to make required disposition of property. Both charges are Class C felonies.
2 Corbin men are arrested on alcohol-related charges after the Laurel County Sheriff's Office says one shoplifted a grill from Walmart. 57-year-old William Smith and 62-year-old Raymond Earl Smith were taken into custody last weekend after a deputy pulled over the car they were in. Deputies say William Smith was under the influence and driving on a DUI suspended license out of Virginia. They say Raymond Smith was also under the influence and wanted on an outstanding warrant. The two men were taken to the Laurel County Correctional Center.
A Fayette County school crossing guard is in the hospital recovering after he was hit by a car this morning. It happened near Garrett Morgan Elementary School in Lexington.
Police say the man has serious but non-life-threatening injuries. The roadway was closed in the area for a while but was cleared at about 10 this morning. Officers say they responded around 8 a.m. and found the man suffering from life-threatening injuries. The man was taken to the hospital and is now responding to medical staff.
He's alert, he's talking, which is good, and his family is there with him.
Sergeant Guy Miller says guards have something to deal with every day, whether it's other people being distracted by using their cell phones or the weather. At this time, police say they do not believe criminal charges will be brought against the driver, but the incident remains under investigation.
We now know the new date for a trial against former Rowan County Clerk Kim Davis. The new trial for her is set for September 11th. An administrative error led to the delay. Davis denied two same-sex couples marriage licenses back in 2015. A judge found she violated their constitutional rights. Now a jury must determine how much money Davis owes the couples.
We also now know the funeral arrangements for former Knott County Judge John Robert Bobby Morgan and his wife Ollie Irene Cornett Morgan. Visitation for both is set tomorrow for 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. while the funeral will take place on Thursday at 1 p.m. This will be at the Heineman Funeral Services Chapel. There is also a visitation going on right now for Judge Morgan in Salyersville. Judge Bobby Morgan died on April 1st. His wife died 6 days later. Both were 85 years old.
Coming up, sunshine continues for at least a couple more days thanks to the Big Blue Age, but we got some showers returning. Tracking the latest after this. Plus.
And we hear from a health professional who says donating blood is one of the best things people can do in the aftermath of a mass shooting.
WYMT News app offers alerts on breaking stories as they happen, customized to the categories you choose. The WYMT News app, powered by Appalachian Wireless.